Well, chat, let's march on. It's been a couple of days. Again, Road to the Show has been a hell of a lot of fun, so we haven't been able to pay as much attention to this. But I wanted to get back to it. We are fresh after a draft where, well, neither of us did that well in the grand scheme of things. These were the choice. I mean, we didn't do terribly, but neither of our teams were overly fantastic, including your third-round pick of Blaine Lane, who is hot, stankin' garbage. Shout out to Rick Knox, AEW referee. Yes, I saw the footage for the AEW game. It's dope, and I can't wait. That said, you guys are in dead last in your division. Currently 5.5 games back of the wild card. I am not in dead last, only 3 games out of the wild card, but neither of us are where we should be because we both have really good teams. We have switched up the blocks as per your preference. Trey Turner, Spencer Torkelson, and just those two for the moment are on the block. You're going to go ahead and see if anyone gets traded. If they do, then it will open up avenues for other moves. So we shall see what happens. For now, it is the All-Star game. The sweet, beautiful All-Star game. And we'll... Ooh, it's in Toronto as well. NL side. John Means, Mike Soroka. Jesus, the Dodgers, though. The Dodgers. Who do we have here from the Diamondbacks? Yency Almonte of your Arizona Diamondbacks has made the playoffs. And he's the only one. In terms of position players, do we have any Diamondbacks? Okay. Joel Donnelly, your catcher. Not a starter, but he has made an all-star game. That's a pretty good accomplishment. So that is 2. 3, Trey Turner, who is in sharp decline now at this stage. 34 years old. He has also made the All-Star game, as has Esteban Gallegos. You guys have pretty good representation at the All-Star game. Not bad. 4 All-Stars in total. Yet the team's in dead last. Figure that out. On the AL side, do we have any Diamondbacks representation? It's not looking good. It's not looking good. All right, no pitchers. For position players, center fielder Jose Castilla. Yeah, I said Diamondbacks again. I'm in Oakland. Jose Castilla has made it, even though his attributes are dropping, which is weird. Only has an 803 OPS. That's really, really weird. Anybody else? Rafael Devers has made it. Pete Alonso. So we have 3 starters for the AL side. Doesn't look like we'll have anybody else. Nope, Ronald Acuna is there and on the bench. So good representation for both of us in the All-Star game. But the big question now moving forward, do you guys get a trade offer that you're looking for? What do you think of the goalie interference call? Pens Rangers. I mean, I kind of summed it up on Twitter. My main issue with it is that the NHL still hasn't really set up the league to avoid confusion on that. Shout out to the Oilers scoring a goal. Apparently, nope, that was a replay as I'm watching Minnesota St. Louis. Yeah, it's really just there's too much gray area for a call like that still. There are some big trades happening, neither of which so far have involved either of our players. Payne, there's another one. Troy Aparicio is on the move. Jose Suarez on the move. Oh, boy. We are getting left behind in terms of trade offers. All right. I'm at 56 and 52. You guys are at 54 and 53. You could elect the nuclear option and blow it up. I would honestly wait. I would go for it. And at that point in the offseason, If your team sucks, I would blow it up at that point. But I will leave it to you. For the Diamondbacks, what do? Go for it or blow it up? The choice is yours, chat. We have a poll. You might need to refresh the stream really quickly. What's it gonna be? Knowing that you have the apparently first-ranked team in baseball and you're 5.5 games out of the wild card at trade deadline, do you want to nuke it? Do you want to nuke it? Or do you stay the course for this season and then potentially nuke it? What that would implore is using the trade finder and finding the best trade available for the likes of Ketel Marte, Corbin Burns, etc. You are only allowed one nuclear option per franchise mode, so this would be it. Oh man, Joel Donnelly got hurt. Head contusion, 1 to 6 days. Are there any other injuries? No, because Moda's a depth option. Let's see, what's that poll looking like? Gopher looks like it's going to win it. Gopher looks like it's probably going to win it. Which I do think is the best option. I think if you guys fail this year, then blow it up. I think that's the play. Because if you guys fail and elect to blow it up in the offseason, then you can kind of control trading Del Castillo, Yerzy. It's a shame you can't do it outright for draft picks, but Torkelson's heating up, apparently. I mean, Marte's 34, Trey Turner's 34, so this is kind of it. It looks like the poll is pretty much decided. It'll be a gopher. It'll be a gopher here. Let's find out what happens with our two teams. As neither of us got any trade offers down the stretch, we'll go all the way through August, where you guys will be sitting 7 games above 500, 7 games back of the division, and 3.5 back of the wild card with a month to go. We have identical records. I am 6.5 back in the division, but 3. We are in basically identical situations here as we hit September call-ups. We are in essentially identical situations. I'll be calling up Zach Galoff. I also want to call up, let's go with Brent Honeywell Jr. And it might even let me call up one other person because of the injury. See if it'll let me call up Maciel. For you guys, just go with the highest rated dudes that aren't on the roster. So Benito Carvajal has been electric since you sent him down to AAA. He'll be back on your roster. And in terms of a position player, pretty obvious, Jake McCarthy. At the very least, he's a good utility pinch runner. So here we go. Identical situation. Let's play it out. See if either of us can make the playoffs. You made the playoffs for the very first time last year. I have never made the playoffs. You are 2 games above 500, 11.5 back of the division, so that's not going to happen. 9 games out of the wild card. And I am 6.5 back of the wild card. I am ranked 2nd. You guys are ranked 1st. And we're both going to miss the playoffs. Barring a ridiculous run, you lose that series to St. Louis. You do sweep San Diego. You can't win the division. You're 5 games back of the wild card. Those wins against the Padres were huge. I'm 5.5 back of the wild. I'm boned. I'm boned. Let's see. You pretty much have to do some damage against the Dodgers. You only win 1 game. It was the game on Sunday here. 6 games out. The elimination number is 1. If you lose to the Padres, you're done. It's over. And just like that, we both failed to make the playoffs. Again. It's over. I don't even know, man. The A's finish at 84 and 78. You guys finish at 500 on the dot. 81 and 81. As it'll be Texas and Detroit. Winner playing Kansas City. Seattle already plays Tampa. San Diego and the New York Mets in the wild card. Winner plays the Dodgers. Milwaukee plays Atlanta. In terms of awards, Joey Gallo won NL MVP. I don't know how. It should have been Cedric Mullins. AL MVP goes to Rafael Devers, who didn't make the playoffs. I had the top 2 AL MVP candidates and didn't make the playoffs. In terms of the Cy Young, Julio Urias. Robbie Ray and Nate Pearson, but Urias wins it for the AL. Mackenzie Gore wins it for the NL, with Cedric Doss finishing in second for the sole reason he has 277 strikeouts because his win-loss record and ERA sucked. Batting title goes to Zach Veen of the Colorado Rockies. Austin Meadows wins it in the AL. Reliever of the year, Jorge Alcala. Or George, perhaps. And Gratterall as well. Rookie of the year, Russ Luke. For the Atlanta Braves. 32-year-old Rookie of the Year because baseball does it right. Are you a rookie? Cool. You're a rookie. You're up for the award. They do it right. Fuck the NHL and their stupid rules about Rookie of the Year. Jose Castilla finished in second behind Roberto Cordero. And that is basically it. I don't even... You know what? We do need to take a look at our stats on the year. So catcher-wise for you guys, Joel Donnelly was amazing. He's only getting better, essentially. Lost a bit on vision and speed. Had his best season to date with a very respectable 837 OPS. Donnelly's great for you guys. And you still have 2 more arbitration years before you really have to pay him. Del Castillo as a backup is okay. He's never going to be dominant at the plate. You could shed $2.2 million getting rid of him if you elect to nuke it. Andy Yerzy has barely played. Gets paid $50K, though. The problem is you guys have Luis Acosta, who should probably be getting time at the major league level next year. You could argue AAA. But man, Donnelly and Acosta, if you elect to nuke it, now's a good time. You can move on from Del Castillo and Yerzy and be good to go. First base, Spencer Torkelson, your big signing. He did go up to a 91. His contract goes up every single year because it's backloaded. Finished with a 787. He performed worse at the plate than Donnelly. Despite 26 home runs and 103 RBIs, he struck out 146 times. Man, you have Francisco Campillo there. Can Campillo do that much worse with 5 more years of contract control? Ketel Marte, 34 years old. Decline is starting to set in. He's got 1 year left after this at $16 million. He's still phenomenal. He is still an absolutely phenomenal player. Only 15 home runs this year, though. 98 games played, the reason. So he missed some time due to injury for sure. Perdomo's behind him, making 3.2. 64 appearances this year, a 723 OPS. Again, sheddable contracts. And then Nick Gonzalez, 762 OPS is pretty solid for someone in his spot. He's going to be a free agent. Probably just going to want to let him go. Third base, Trey Turner is falling off the face of the earth now at 34 years old. An 840 OPS, still a very good player. Still 35 stolen bases. He makes $18 million next year, though. With Buddy Kennedy behind him. What, a 924 OPS and 116 appearances. His deal is up. He might be too expensive. You do have Richard Calvert behind him. He's a weird player. And Jordan Lawler at shortstop, only getting better. His best season at the plate by far. A good 868 OPS. 1 year left at $5.6 million. Then you got to pay him the big bucks. And Ryan Bliss behind him. 103 at bats, a 934 OPS. Still got 2 years of contract control left. And then the outfield. Becerra. 24 home runs, 91 RBIs, 809 OPS. 2 more years at $3.6 million. He's 23. Kenny Mcalpin should be a major leaguer next year. He's at least major league caliber. Center field, Corbin Carroll only getting better. However, a 720 OPS down from the 880. He gets paid $3.1 million for 2 more years after this. You got Thomas, who's still improving. Respectable 800 OPS on the year for him. Gets paid $2.8 million for 2 more years. McCarthy, we know, is major league caliber. Still got a ton of contract control on him, though. So it's like, why not keep him? And then in right, Esteban Gallegos. Also getting better. Had an 804 OPS, which isn't brutal. 2.2 next year, and then his deal is up. So there are some tough calls there in terms of who to keep and who to not. And whether or not you're going to elect to try to blow up the team in a sense and trade away some people. In terms of starters, Cedric Doss, I mean, his ERA and his WHIP might not be amazing, but he's a strikeout machine. Problem is, you guys are about to have to pay him max money, or you got to let him go in free agency as an RFA, essentially. Corbin Burns. Let's see, 3.36 ERA. A 3.76 FIP. Solid pitcher. Is he worth $22 million? I don't know. And of course, Carvajal's still young and getting better. I mean, just a lot of young pitchers on the way up. And then the relievers as well we can look at a bit later on. But you've pretty much seen the big players on the team. For me, I kind of already have a general sense of where I'm going. So let's see who's going to win the World Series this year. And the answer is the Tampa Bay Rays beating the New York Mets. Very surprised the Mets beat the Dodgers in the NLDS, but they lose to the Rays in 7 as Brandon Lowe wins World Series MVP. So the Rays again do have a very good team though. Wander Franco, Joey Bart, Aaron Judge. I mean, those are just the top players on the team. Yeah. So it's a World Series win for Tampa. We go to the offseason. Let's see what happens. Brent Rooker. Surprise, surprise, retired for you guys. Didn't have anybody retired. Do we have any Hall of Famers? No. No Hall of Famers. So let's see the situation here. First and foremost, I had a better record this year, so I get top priority on pitching coach and farm director. And we'll go with Emmett Benson. And for farm director, Dusty Wathan? Wathan. Dusty Wathan. Fucking Wathan, I'm going to slap you with if you miss the playoffs again. For you guys, you need a hitting coach. Best one by far. Shout out to Supercharged Rowdy Tillies. Wiley is easily the best one because he's got that minus the bunting. But the contact, vision, and power are a big boost, so no doubt he's the best one available for you guys. So in terms of the exclusive free agents, we start off with Buddy Kennedy, who wants $12 million a season. Reminder, he is now 30 and currently behind Trey Turner. He wants $12 million a year. Do you approach Buddy Kennedy or do you pass? I mean, if you do the 15-year thing, If you do the 15-year thing, you can get it down to like $6 million per. Okay, maybe 7. You can get it down to like 6.5 per. I mean, again, he was pretty damn good, but in the years prior, never really showed that much promise. Of course, it was a limited sample size. Your former first baseman replaced by Torkelson. Are there any objections to cutting him? Because right now, that looks to be the way to go. And honestly, depending on what you want to do, tendering a qualifying offer probably isn't a safe enough bet that he'll get signed elsewhere. Nick Gonzalez wants about $10 million a season. Reminder, you have Ketel Marte and Perdomo there as well. So again, Gonzalez wants about $10 million. RJ Dabovich. It's a bit mixed for him. 156 whip. Oof. Yeah, I would personally let go of Dabovich. Even for $3 million, he's not getting it done. I would personally let go of him. Jordan Hicks is currently in decline. 144 whip. Again, I would let go of Jordan Hicks. He only wants 1.7 though, so maybe not. But at the same time, if he's not getting it done, why keep him even if he's cheap? And then Keenan Middleton. Also now declining in rating. 133 whip on the season, a 367 FIP. I would keep Keenan Middleton. He's going to cost you 3.4. So chat, you got to come to a consensus here, even if it's just a few of you. Who stays and who goes is the question. As on the other side, for your Oakland Athletics, Robert Poisson. Yosei! The Bruins have psychologically hurt me. It's true. Thank you for the 16 months, though. How are you? Let's see. Robert Poisson barely got to play. When he did, he was amazing at the plate. Good news, everything's fine. Just have stomach acid issues that can be managed. I can't believe I have 30 falls. Dema, I'm sorry to hear that you're not perfectly well. Robert Poisson wants $9 million. I would rather watch the Bruins play the Carolina Hurricanes. So yeah, $9 million bucks for that when you have never been that consistent at the plate. Robert Poisson is gone. And then for starters, I got to be honest, Brent, you haven't been that bad, but you're 34. God, he was incredible through 22 innings, though. Let's see, May, Benitez, Cusick, Hoagland, Cohen, Tucker, Ginn, Honeywell. Even though Honeywell's good, I don't have room. I just don't have room for you, Brent. I'm sorry. I don't have room for you. Hate to tell you, Brent. Hate to tell you. Especially for $5 million bucks. Travis Lakins, you're 34. Decent numbers this year. Wants a 4-year deal. That's not going to happen. 2-year with a player option. I'll lowball you a little bit because I'm not desperate to keep you. You can get a $4 million a year deal, Travis. That is the highest I'm going. Trevor Richards, you're in decline. You're 35. You're gone. And then Lou Trevino, you're also gone. So that is all I am doing for my players. Richards, Trevino, Honeywell, Poisson, all gone. No, Yosei, I'm good. I mean, I don't think I'll be seeing Game 5, but here's open. All right, chat. The official word. Cody's arguing to keep Gonzalez, and that's about it. For the most part, people seem to be good to just drop everybody else. Are you in agreement? Is there anybody else who wants to put up a fight? Maybe we'll throw it to a poll real quick. Cody, I think you're outnumbered for Gonzo, buddy. Looks like you're outnumbered for Gonzo. Every single one of these players appears to be leaving the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. Fair enough. Fair enough. Wathan's on. Lucas Sims is elected to become a free agent. That's fine. Pete Alonso has opted out and is leaving Oakland. Interesting. Interesting. Pete Alonso has left my team. And on one hand, I'm like, oh, that sucks. On the other, that frees up a crap load of money. Like a crap load of money. So I am really not that upset. Granted, he was the runner-up for the AL MVP. But that frees up a ton of money for me. Corbin Burns is going to be sticking with you. And there you go. You have your new coach. So with that, free agency. We'll see the big fish that are available again for you guys. Are you going to go? We'll leave it up to a vote. What do? One more try. Blow it up. The choice is yours, chat. Whatever will you do? What will you do? Or if you want to see free agents first, you can to see if that changes your opinion. But in terms of free agents available, I mean, catcher, you have Joel Donnelly, so you don't need Rushman, you don't need Henry Davis, you don't need Campazano or Melendez. First base, Alonso's out there, but Torkelson is now the second big money first baseman you've signed to no avail. Do you really want to try that for a third time? Second base, you do have Marte and Perdomo. Cronenworth's 35, Rojas, all these guys are old. Third base, you have Trey Turner, Calvert. Chapman's out there, but he's 35. Moncada's 33. Yeah, you're not getting anybody that's overly young in free agency there. Buddy Kennedy is the youngest guy. Shortstops, you do have Jordan Lawler. There is 28-year-old Andreas Hernandez. There's also Marcelo Meyer, Red Sox legend. Brady House. There's a couple of young options, and Possum was mine. For the record, Hernandez wants $33 million. Meyer wants $26 million. And House wants $28. And then in left, I mean, Joey Gallo's 35. He wants $30 million. Jimenez is 32. He'd want 16, which seems like a bargain. But again, you have Becerra, you have Mcalpin there. So do you really need any of the big names? Jay Allen wants 18. Riley Green wants a max deal. Again, you already got Carroll, Thomas, and McCarthy there. And then there's nobody great and right. Joe Adell. You have Gallegos. Then for the starters, I mean, Reed Detmers, Hunter Green, Mackenzie Gore. None of these guys are super high overall. Detmers wants a near max deal. Green only wants about 18. Gore wants 25. Garcia wants 22. But again, you have a lot of young pitchers that are kind of working their way into the mix. In terms of closers, Barlow's 33, Sims is 34. A lot of old closers and a lot of old relievers. With that, let's see what the poll looks like. And it's close. It's close. It might be a cliffhanger.